And we'd like to welcome those of you who just saw a thriller in Vegas. Utah State pulling off a stunning victory, 87-86. We are here live in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Conference USA Hoops. Chris Hassel with former Northwestern star Trey Demps. Western Kentucky got out to an 8-0 lead, but Jacksonville State showing signs of life. A block on one end. Kiki Tandy, the runner on this end, no good. And Western will clear it. Western Kentucky, one of the fastest tempo teams in the land. Jacksonville State, one of the best defensive teams in the country. But that is the Purdue transfer, Brandon Newman, with his second three already. And it's 13-6 Western Kentucky.
He just looks comfortable out there. Coming down in transition, stepping right into a catch and shoot three, not rushed. It's important for him to be a shot maker for this Western Kentucky team.
Shot clock down to 5. This is Tandy, leading scorer in the conference. Real tough shot. It hit rim, and they're going to get another crack at it as he chases it down. Physical inside. Ivan Reynolds draws the foul, and that'll take us to a break. For those of you watching our free streaming coverage, it'll conclude after the break, but we're live on CBS Sports Network. You can find us by going to cbssportsnetwork.com/channel finder. College basketball on CBS Sports Network is presented by Fresh Pet. Western Kentucky just had their 8-game winning streak snapped earlier in the week with their unbeaten 7-0 at home, and Jacksonville State taking a 6-game winning streak into this one. Glad to have you with us. Chris Hassel with the Northwestern great Trey Demps. 13-6 Western Kentucky on top early. What are your keys to the game presented by Fresh Pet?
Well, I think for Jacksonville State, you have to do a good job of making shots. You know, their last 2 games, they only made 1 3 outside of Kiki Tandy. And then on the other end, if you're Western Kentucky, you have to contain Kiki Tandy. He's one of the best players in this league, averaging 19 points per game. And you want to make him high volume because he's going to get his opportunities. He's going to make some shots. You can't be discouraged. You got to make him be high volume. If he's going to get 20 points, try to make him take 20 shots doing it.
2 top scorers in the conference going at it, with Tandy 19 a game. And on the Western Kentucky side, Don McHenry at 15 a game. And so far, Western Kentucky looking good, as they often do at home. 7-0 here, and boy, until that loss on Wednesday at Sam Houston State, they were off to their best start in over 20 years here at Western Kentucky, and this has been a fantastic program. Kiki Tandy had a career-high 35 last Saturday in a win against FIU. This is Jacksonville State's first season in Conference USA, off to a great start. They beat FIU, then they went on the road and beat Liberty earlier this week. So 2-0 at the top of the standings with that Sam Houston State team that beat Western Kentucky. And at the free throw line, that's Ivan Reynolds missing on the first. Not much of a offensive presence, but a great defender who's likely going to be chasing Don McHenry around much of this game. Rodney Howard looked baseline for Brandon Newman, and he gets fouled.
It's a good play there by Newman. Because Jacksonville State denies a lot, which is kind of rare in today's college basketball. A lot of teams, you know, play back, try to protect the paint. Newman doing a good job of getting the backdoor cut and drawing the foul.
It's a homecoming for Ray Harper, Jacksonville State head coach. His 8th season there, but he had some real successful seasons right here in this building as the head coach of Western Kentucky. They actually led Western Kentucky to their last tournament appearance back in 2013. He's got his Gamecocks playing well as we hit the conference slate. Tandy cranks another three. Slow start for Jacksonville State on offense, but Tandy with a couple of threes, and they're within 4.
That's what we talked about before the games. We see Lander getting downhill, playing with pace. But with Tandy, it feels like you're there. You're right on his hip because of the quick release of Tandy and how quickly he can get his shot off. It can be extremely difficult, and as a big, you have to be at the level of the screen.
It's Tandy again. You said earlier today, I don't think this guy's ever seen a shot that he doesn't like. He's already taken 6 shots. He's 2 for 6 from the floor. Tandy with a couple of threes. This was the last one.
Yeah, it's tough because Western Kentucky wants to down a lot of the pick and rolls. That means force it to one side. And so I think in that possession, Lander was trying to force the ball left. Howard wasn't quite there in position. The ball screen came, and Tandy found himself open for the step back 3.
Now, Tandy is a transfer from Xavier. He was Big East all-freshman team back in 2020 and had a real promising future there, but injuries really derailed his career. Had a foot injury last year, and he didn't even get the go-ahead to start playing basketball again until August. And so they're saying he's still not 100%, but this is as close as he has been, as Rodney Howard puts Western Kentucky back up 8.
To your point, you got to give that young man a lot of credit for sticking with it through all the injuries. It could be challenging, but for him to have the season that he's having, it's truly remarkable with all the injuries he's endured.
And there he is, gets the handoff. Quick cut to the paint. Didn't get it to go, but draws the foul. And he's a Kentucky kid from down the road, about an hour, Hopkinsville, Kentucky. 8th leading scorer in Kentucky high school history. He scored over 3,300 high school points.
I don't know what Coach Harper is talking. I mean, he looks quick, athletic, body looks great. I mean, that possession, you split the defense, get downhill, elevated for the finish. I don't know how much more athletic you can get. I mean, to me, just watching film on him over the last few games, he looks 100%.
Oh, and he's really turned it on, too. He had that 35 last week against FIU. He had 4 straight 20-plus point games, snapped last game when he went for 14. And Coach Harper said, there's nobody better. And really excited about Tandy finally getting healthy once again. Some full court pressure here from Jacksonville State. Marshall's able to break it. And a quick 3 in transition, rims in and out from Dante Allen.
And that's what Sam Houston did. They try to get that full court pressure just to slow their tempo down a little bit and create a little bit of disruption on the offensive rhythm.
That was a fantastic left-handed pass from Tandy inside to Mason Nicholson. Just had enough juice on it to squeeze it in there. Jacksonville State starting to settle in. Trailed 8-0 to start this game. Now with the shot clock at 10. Howard the roll. There was contact, but no foul.
Good job of Purdue being there on the pick and roll action in the weak side to get a contest on Howard.
And now Tandy got a switch and hits the 3.
How about that, man? A tween coming off the pick and roll. I mean, how challenging that is. The degree of difficulty just makes it look effortless.
He's got 11 now, and Jacksonville State has a chance to take their first lead of the game.
Uh-oh, you can see he's in his bag now.
Got Marshall on him, step back. Oh. You're right, he was feeling it. And that's a charge. Jawan Purdue had the positioning. And that'll take us to the under 12 timeout. Tandy with 11.
We see here doing it all. Tandy getting the pass down low. And then you see the outside shot. Tween between the legs. Bucket. You're watching college basketball.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Fresh Pet. It's not dog food, it's food food. By AT&T. Connecting changes everything. And by Kit Kat. Have a break. Have a Kit Kat.
Well, they just took a point off the board for Jacksonville State. They were looking at one of those threes from Kiki Tandy. Decided foot was on the line, so it's 17-15 with 10:51 to go here in the first half. Ray Harper and Jacksonville State, top defensive team in Conference USA, and that is a top 10 mark in the country, giving up under 62 a game. And Western Kentucky and head coach Steve Lutz, they push it and they score it. #1 in the conference in points per game and #2 in the country in adjusted tempo. Tandy got underneath the hoop and drew the foul. Fans not happy with that call, but they're going to get Christian Lander for the foul.
And it was the quick hesitation off of that action as Tandy comes off. He changes speeds real quick. That makes Lander just relax a little bit, and then he explodes to the basket and draws the foul.
Has 10 of Jacksonville State's 15 points and a chance at the free throw line. I say chances are pretty good. Yep, he's 95% at the free throw line this season. Brandon Newman checks back in for Western Kentucky as Dante Allen takes a seat. This game started with an 8-0 run from Western Kentucky. And now Jacksonville State's on a 9-0 run to tie things up at 17.
I love this look from Jacksonville State, giving a little bit of token pressure.
Newman at the cup, and the follow from Babacar Faye. That's the second time he's been able to follow tonight.
That's the best way to beat a press. You got to attack it to score. You can't attack it just to get back into your offense. Doing a good job of being aggressive, getting the putback for the easy deuce.
Tandy, a little hesitation, got it poked away. Third turnover of this game for Jacksonville State. And Western turns it right back over. So we'll get a foul on a reach-in going on Western Kentucky. Each team with 3 turnovers now. And that's a costly foul on Western Kentucky's Don McHenry. He takes a seat with 2. Second leading scorer in Conference USA, 15 a game. Slow start so far, just 2 points and those 2 fouls.
That means Lander and Newman are really going to have to be aggressive with McHenry out of the floor, especially Lander, because Western Kentucky is 7-0 when Lander scores in double figures.
Right now 2 points for Lander. Shot clock to 5. Andres Burney muscling his way inside. Lander, he tried to squeeze it in there, and it was kicked by the great defender Ivan Reynolds. 22 on the shot clock as we go back and look at the physical play inside from Burney.
Great job there, just taking his time, pump fake, getting over the left shoulder for a high percentage look. And the way that Burney's been playing the last few games has been really impressive. They can continue to get that kind of contribution from him that provides a second score for the Gamecocks.
They left Faye inside.
That was a great job there by Newman, being patient as he came off the pick and roll. The double team came, the help side was not there. That allowed for the easy deuce.
10-2, advantage Western Kentucky, points in the paint. And the 3 is good from Travis Roberts. And Ray Harper told us earlier today, look, the percentages aren't there right now for Roberts at 30% from deep, but he is a great shooter. Lander has tried to spin in the paint. Good defense from Reynolds.
Without McHenry in, I think Burney is the guy that you want to get the ball to.
Oh, he flashed wide open and it hit his hands and bounced away. Turnover. Allen draws the foul. He'll go to the free throw line.
And Allen is another guy that Western Kentucky needs to be aggressive off the bench. Last game against Sam Houston only had 6 points, 2 of 4 from the field. Guy that has a lot of talent, played at Kentucky. He's a great shooter, has a quick release. To me, he's a guy that needs to get 8 to 10 shot attempts off the bench. That's what he comes in to do.
Former Mr. Basketball in the state of Kentucky. Played a few seasons for the Kentucky Wildcats over in Lexington.
He averaged 43 points per game his senior year. I mean, that's incredible.
Yeah,
granted, it was only 13 games, but 43 points, 14 rebounds. That's like video game numbers.
Seesawing back and forth here between Jacksonville State and Western Kentucky. And once again, Jawan Purdue gets to the cup, and the Gamecocks are up by 1. Oh, look what I found. A wide open Brandon Newman.
And Newman was a really good cutter and a high cerebral player when he was at Purdue, doing a good job recognizing the double team in the post, cutting, getting the easy bucket.
Already 4 lead changes in this one, make it 5. A swooping lefty lay-in from Roberts.
How about Roberts off the bench? Only 2 points in his last 2 games. Knocked down a 3. A nice attack off a closeout. They can get other contributions.
They get Howard for a traveling violation. And that'll take us to break. 7:02 to go, first half. And we go back and forth. Fay with a couple of stuffs inside for Western. They've been controlling it in the paint, but they're down by 1. Two games today, 2 games tomorrow, and 2 games on Monday. Jacksonville State with a 1-point lead here on Western Kentucky. They're one of the newcomers here to Conference USA. I think a lot of folks thought Liberty might come in here because of all their success in the A-Sun. They'd come in and take this thing by storm. Well, Jacksonville State's 2-0 in conference. Liberty's 0-2.
Yeah, how about that? I mean, preseason #1 team in Liberty, and on the other end, Jacksonville State was last in the preseason, so probably came into this season with a chip on their shoulder. 6-game winning streak currently. One of the best defensive teams in the country. Guard the 3-point line at a high clip. So it's a great start for the season, especially in conference play for Jacksonville State.
And they're looking for their 4th consecutive road win as well. They've made their last 4 shots from the floor. That one gets blocked. Still trying to power it up, and that was just too good a position for Mason Nicholson, who lost 40 or 50 pounds in the offseason. A lot more conditioning, still strong. And Jacksonville State has had a couple of buckets in the paint of late.
That's where Jacksonville State lives. In the paint, 50-50 balls. They want a gritty game. Doing a good job of there.
Lander way short on the 3. And after Western Kentucky jumped out to an 8-0 lead, Jacksonville State has come roaring back, and they've been doing it with great shooting. They are at 59% from the floor. And they get Nicholson for the illegal screen out high. When you do something wrong out there, you're a big guy, you're out on an island, it's easy to spot.
Well, Chris, that's actually not Nicholson's fault. As a ball handler, and Tandy knows this, you have to wait for the screen. Nicholson did a great job of sprinting up to the screen. And it's just a kind of an error that you wouldn't see from a player like Tandy to not wait for it.
Gotta feel bad as a guard when that happens, right?
Absolutely. I used to hate giving my big fellas foul because I was a player that liked to go right away too.
Tandy draws contact and the foul. 6th team foul on Western Kentucky, so the next one is going to send them to the free throw line. Don McHenry still on the bench for Western Kentucky with the 2 fouls and only 2 points. Their leading scorer, second leading scorer in conference. Able to bounce that one in there to Roberts, who pulls up. Too strong. Nicholson tipped that out of bounds. It's Western Kentucky ball. 5:32 to go first half.
And I like that shot from Roberts. I mean, Newman went for the steal. It's aggressive, decisive. Went downhill with his left hand for a 15-foot pull-up jump shot. Just missed it long. And that's going to be important for Jacksonville State, as other guys being able to play off the catch. They're going to continue to trap Tandy and blitz him on these pick and rolls. And so Tandy's probably going to have to give himself up a lot. And so that means other guys on the perimeter are going to have to be able to catch the ball at the three-point line and make a play.
See where they can create some offense here. Lander in on Nicholson. Oh man, that's a nifty little scoop.
Great play there, just splitting the defense. Came off the dribble handoff there. Got back to his strong left hand and finished over the trees.
Jacksonville State riding a 6-game winning streak. Western Kentucky's won 8 of 9. Kiki Tandy can't get the bounce. And Western Kentucky looking to push with numbers. Allen, oh, rejected by Nicholson. Tandy does not have numbers, so he backs it out, but Purdue is left open for 3.
How about Jacksonville State? 5 of 8 to start the game from the three-point line. It's a team over the last 2 games that only had 1 3-pointer outside of Tandy.
Western Kentucky's one of the top teams, not just in Conference USA, but in the country at defending the 3. It's another turnover. Tandy used the hesitation, missed it off the glass. And he's now back on his feet, but it's a 5-on-4 for the time being, and there's a foul inside on Nicholson as Enoch Kalambe took him on.
We see here this block. Great play there by Nicholson. Getting up there, not allowing Allen to get the finish. And Jacksonville State has it rolling from three-point land.
Good ball on CBS Sports Network, presented by Fresh Pet. Jacksonville State with a 4-point lead over Western Kentucky. And leading the way, Kiki Tandy with 12 points. And after a slow start, they were down 8-0, couldn't find anything offensively. He jump-started this offense with some threes.
Well, here's the thing. If you're not at the level of the screen against Kiki Tandy, he's going to make you pay every single time. And it's so challenging, right? Because he comes off of so many different actions, whether it's ball screens like that action right there, DHOs, dribble handoffs, pin downs. He's coming off a lot of different things. And so it's team defense against a guy like Tandy, because you can't just rely on one guy to contain him because he's coming off all of those different screens. And you know, he's shooting 3 of 10, 4 of 4 from the free throw lines, 12 points. So we see on the graphic. And I think overall, Western Kentucky has to feel pretty good about the job that they've done on Tandy, but they got to get out on some of the shooters for Jacksonville State, because they're knocking them down 5 of 8 from 3 thus far.
He is the leading scorer in Conference USA. Well on his way to surpassing that today. Don McHenry, on the other hand, number 2 scorer in the conference, is still on the bench with 2 fouls. McHenry's only played 8 minutes of this game. Rare playing time as Kalambe knocks down a free throw. Rare playing time for Tegan Moore, freshman for Western Kentucky, wearing the number 30. Western Kentucky's been great getting out in fast break. Jacksonville State using all of the shot clock and connecting. Marcellus Brigham.
That was a great job by Bernie of staying composed when the double team came. Got the ball out, one swing, and then you attack a closeout for an easy floater.
And Inside, oh, threading the needle there before the shot, though. A foul on the floor on Jacksonville State.
See here, doing a good job attacking closeouts after the double team in the post. Bernie doing a good job of staying composed, getting the ball out, get one swing, and you get downhill for a high percentage shot.
7th team foul, so Allen goes to the line for a 1-and-1. And earns another. Western Kentucky really disappointed with that loss Wednesday at Sam Houston State. Talking to some guys that were part of the team, they just said, man, we made them look really good. We still had a chance to win it late and just couldn't get it done. And one of those new members of Conference USA is also 2-0. How about that? A couple of the teams that are fresh in here, Sam Houston State and Jacksonville State, 2-0. Fans wanted to travel. They didn't get it, and then they got another bucket from Bernie, rather. Corner three off back iron, and a strong rebound to Caleb Johnson. Jacksonville State with the basketball and a 5-point lead. But that's their 6th turnover of the game. A turnover on Purdue, but the passing has been crisp.
Yeah, another good attack on the closeout there. Finding Bernie for the finish. Just because of the way that Western Kentucky plays defense, they trap the post, they blitz on pick and rolls. You're going to have those opportunities as an offensive player in the perimeter to attack the closeouts. Jacksonville State doing a good job of getting that and making easy decisions.
Shot clock under 10. Inside, it's Fay. He's had 4 easy buckets inside.
That was a good job there by Fay, establishing position from the get-go. The ball didn't get to him right away, but as the possession went on, he continued to establish that position, which allowed him to get that dunk.
And oh, keeping the play alive, keeping the ball, and keeping his balance, Andres Bernie. And that's going to be another turnover on Western Kentucky. Just 93 seconds away from AT&T at the half. Brent Stover, Chris Walker, John Rothstein, and Seth Davis standing by in our New York studio. It's been another wild day of hoops. We had a couple top 10 teams go down, and if you didn't see the way our last game ended on CBS Sports Network, stick around. They are undoubtedly going to show that. A 5-point play. As we get a timeout after another Jacksonville State bucket. 7-point lead for the Gamecocks here with 1:17 to go first half. We come in talking about what a great defensive team Jacksonville State is. And right now they're shooting 60% from the floor. They've got a 39-32 lead against Western Kentucky. And they're only giving up 61.8 a game for Ray Harper. That is top 10 in the nation.
I think for Jacksonville State, it's been the transition defense. They've done a great job as we see them in trying to mix things up in a 1-3-1 zone. Getting back and not allowing Western Kentucky to get easy baskets in transition.
The deflection there and the turnover. Brigham lays it in. Largest lead of the game swells to 9. Lander going to get to the free throw line. Jacksonville State lost a lot of games early on in the season at the buzzer. But they have a lot more confidence now, and they've turned that into a 6-game winning streak. 6 of their first 12 games were decided at the buzzer. They went 2-4 in those games and actually started 0-4 in those games. But they had a comeback win against Tarleton State that started this winning streak. And Ray Harper was telling us today, that's kind of what clicked, what turned things around for this team. They were able to do what other teams had been doing to them. He said they were inventing ways to lose games early.
And guys are starting to star in their roles. And you know, when you look at this team, they have a lot of versatile forwards that can guard multiple positions. So as an offensive player, it can be really challenging to get your shot off, to get into the paint because of the length and athleticism of Jacksonville State.
Now that's an offensive foul, push off on Tandy. And that's number 2 on him with 37.8 to go first half. They're going to protect him and send him to the bench. Let's take a look at what he did.
See here, good job by Faye on the switch, getting out there, kind of forcing Tandy into the sideline a little bit and not allowing him to get his shot off or to get downhill.
So about a 7-second difference now. Shot and game clock. That one is deflected out of bounds. Jacksonville State's gone with some defense. Matt Mayers has come into the game at 6'8". He's guarding Faye. Now Faye one-on-one with him. Gets to his spot. Everything but the roll, but they save it, and they've got the last shot if they want it. Shot clock is off. Newman fouled. And Faye, I think, jammed the finger.
I like that take by Newman. I mean, normally, as you mentioned, you want to get the ball out. And Newman kind of recognizing that he has an advantage on Johnson, giving him the opening to the middle, takes that angle, plays off of 2 feet, a little up and under, and draws the foul.
And now Newman at the free throw line, 76% on the season. And a couple subs coming in for both teams. 6.7 left, and Jacksonville State has enough time to get a look. AT&T at the half coming up. Another busy day at college hoops. What a week we've had. Seems like every top team has gone down. We had that 24-hour stretch when 1, 2, and 3 all lost to unranked teams. Newman playing his best basketball at home, and he's been their best offensive player tonight. He has 10 now. And it's a 41-35 lead for Jacksonville State, coming back for the final 6.7 of the first. Jacksonville State with an 8-point lead on Western Kentucky as we get set to start the second half. Chris Hassel and Northwestern great Trey Demps. We started on the stream before we came live on CBS Sports Network, so you might have missed it, but it was all Western Kentucky earlier. They had an 8-0 lead, and here they find themselves down 8 to start the second half. What changed?
Well, I think Jacksonville State really picked up the physicality. They started to control the paint. They used their length and their size and athleticism to get stops and get out in transition, get some easy buckets.
And they were making threes, which teams have not been able to make threes against Western Kentucky this season, about 28%, which is tops in Conference USA, but they have not been able to defend the three tonight.
Yeah, it hasn't just been Kiki Tandy. It's been other guys like Roberts. We see Kiki Tandy with a nice tween pull up there, but as other guys have knocked down shots, that has opened up everything for some of the interior players for Jacksonville State as well as Kiki Tandy. And so if they continue to make shots like this at this clip, it's going to be tough for Western Kentucky to get back into the game.
Taking a look at the AT&T game summary, and 63% from the field for Jacksonville State, including those 5 of 8 3-pointers. They made their last 6 shots in the first half. You know, this game really turned when the second leading scorer in this conference had to take a seat with 2 fouls. Don McHenry went to the bench for the rest of the first half at right around the 12-minute mark. Western Kentucky led by 9 with 12.5 to go in the first half. The rest of the way, they were outscored 35-18.
Yeah, McHenry's the head of the snake. He initiates their offensive tempo, gets them easy buckets and transition. So definitely was a different dynamic with him out of the game.
Here at E.A. Diddle Arena, Bowling Green, Kentucky, where Western Kentucky 7-0 this season. They've won 8 of their last 9 overall. Jacksonville State has won 6 straight, and Tandy with a chance at 3.
For me, it's just how twitchy Tandy is. His instincts, his feel for the game, and his quickness to be able to change directions. He starts off going left, recognizes that Lander cuts him off, a quick behind the back, and then getting to the paint and finishing through contact for the and one. Just a complete offensive player, Tandy is.
Couldn't complete the three-point play. Here's McHenry, only played 8 minutes in that first half, has it blocked at the rim. Frustrating night continues for Don McHenry. And on the other end, that 3 short. Off the hand of Purdue. Western pushing. And off the mark on the 3 was Lander.
And once again, it's the transition defense for the Gamecocks. If they miss a shot, there's 2 offensive guards back on defense. They're not able, Western Kentucky, to get really anything in transition.
Tandy, quick pull, and he's short. Might have been partially blocked by Marshall. McHenry, you get the sense he just needs to see one go down, and then he might be able to go off. That's a big one. Christian Lander for 3.
If you're Reynolds there, you got to close out with high hands. You can't give a guy like Lander any confidence on the offensive end. It's a great sign for Western Kentucky because he's 8 points now, 3 of 7. They are better when he's aggressive on the offensive end.
Lander on Kiki Tandy. And now the double team from Fay, and Marshall the steal, saves it right back to Fay. And in transition, Lander is tripped and fouled. They had to close out quick because he was looking at launching another 3.
And that's how Western Kentucky is going to get back into this game. Be able to force turnovers, get out in transition, get into the open court, attack the paint. Lander doing a good job getting downhill, drawing the foul.
And that's the 3rd foul on Andres Burney, who takes a seat. So maybe that middle will open a little bit like it did there. Newman now has 12 and a chance for 13 at the line.
Newman does a great job of moving without the basketball. And he knows kind of the timing of when to cut and when to stay spaced. And that's just being a veteran player. You know, that's kind of what he had to do all of his career at Purdue, play off of other guys, doing a good job up there, making himself available, knocking down the floater.
Western Kentucky has reeled off 6 straight. They've cut the lead from 10 down to 4.
Coach Harper has gotten Clark in the game right away to get Tandy off the ball so they can get him off some off-ball movement.
And that one stripped away. To the floor goes Marshall for it. And McHenry in transition cranks a 3. Hey! A 9-0 run for the Hilltoppers. Ray Harper not calling a timeout. Getting into the offense. Shot clock to 5. Clark fouled.
As Western Kentucky can force turnovers and be the aggressor on the defensive end, they can get looks like this. McHenry doing a good job of getting his feet set, kind of looks off the defense as he's coming down to make him think that he's going to pass the ball and knocks down the tray ball. Now all of a sudden we have a game on our hands with Western Kentucky getting it done on both ends of the floor.
Clark, fouled on the way up, will get another free throw. 81%. Misses the first. How does that feel when you're really playing well like McHenry has? You're the team leader. You pick up 2 quick fouls and you really don't even get to play in the first half.
Well, it's tough to get yourself going in that second half, and I think what McHenry's done a good job is being active on the defensive end.
Oh, they broke that press with ease, and Newman gives the Hilltoppers the lead.
It's definitely something that Western Kentucky has worked on in practice, because that press gave them problems against Sam Houston. Not the case here today.
A 12-1 run in less than 2 minutes. And able to clear it is Fay. McHenry in transition. Newman, step back. And that's going to be over the back on Fay. Boy, that thing happened in a blink.
And McHenry doing a good job of getting the ball to the opposite side, making the defense collapse. That's the best way to beat a press, is get the ball up to the board quickly as possible, be aggressive, and make them think twice about doing that press again.
Jacksonville State had a 10-point lead, and it evaporated in less than 2 minutes. We're going to get a foul on Marshall. His first. Burney went to the bench with 3 fouls for Jacksonville State. Tandy dropped it for Nicholson, who dropped to the deck and traveled. And Western Kentucky has the lead at the under 16 here in the second half. Western Kentucky down 10 moments ago with a 1-point lead on Jacksonville State. We built this as a game between the top 2 scorers in Conference USA. Brandon Newman isn't one of them, but right now he's tied for the game lead in scoring with 16, and he has 6 in this 12-1 run.
People forget, when he was at Purdue, it was down between him and Jaden Ivey, who was going to be the go-to wing at the high major level. Brandon Newman doing a great job of taking high percentage shots, cutting, moving without the basketball, having his feet set, and just playing decisive basketball on the offensive end, and also giving him energy on the glass on the defensive end as well.
In this second half, Western Kentucky 3 of 5 from the 3-point line. Newman has a triple and a 3-point play the old-fashioned way. 16 for the game. Came in averaging 10 on the season, but 13 per game at home. Western Kentucky's trying to get to 8-0 this season. And Jacksonville State their first Conference USA loss. McHenry slides it back door to Newman. Got it tipped out of bounds.
You see JSU going back to that 1-3-1 zone. That could be trouble, because usually in that zone you give up a lot of open threes.
Fay's calling for it. Lander couldn't keep that pivot foot.
That's what makes JSU so tough defensively, is that your 4-man Purdue can get out on the perimeter and stay in front of arguably one of the quickest guards in the Conference USA. Great job there by Purdue, moving his feet and causing the turnover.
Tandy wheeling around, and they're going to get an illegal screen. That is on Purdue.
Lander has done a great job all night of fighting through those screens. I mean, you imagine how many screens you're going to have to get through guarding a guy like Tandy. He's used his quickness and has also been physical on the defensive end to slow him down a little bit.
That one went over the head and out of bounds. Fay tried to save it, but couldn't do it before he landed on a cheerleader. Jacksonville State's been on the road for a while. They went to Liberty early in the week. They beat Liberty, Lynchburg, Virginia, and then came straight here. They've been here the last few nights, had a chance to practice in this gym the last couple of days. Brigham, fadeaway. Okay, and a little kiss to the bench.
If you're Western Kentucky, you're going to live with that shot. Brigham taking a step back, contested two. It's normally a low percentage shot, but good job by Brigham staying on balance, knocking it down.
That was their first bucket in about 5 minutes, and that's a turnover. Lander got double teamed.
So we see it again. Doing a good job of kind of feeling Marshall on his hip, creating just enough space for a step back and staying on balance with a slight fade to get the deuce.
Jacksonville State with a 1-point lead. Dish underneath, over the top, and too far for Nicholson to handle. Turnover number 12 for Jacksonville State. Ray Harper again, homecoming of sorts. Got his master's degree at Western Kentucky in the mid-90s. He was the head coach here from 2011 to 2016. Made a couple of NCAA tournaments, including their last one in 2013. Henry got the handoff from Howard and drills it.
I love that play from Howard. You get the ball in the post, you see you don't have an advantage, and then you dribble up to get a good look for your best player.
Tandy can't answer. Newman got a hand on it. It's still loose. Tracked down by Clark. Whoa, what a shot. He was hit on the way up. Wanted the foul call, but he'll take the two. McHenry went over the top. Howard doing good things again inside with that rebound and gets fouled.
You see here, he dribbles up after the post up. That makes it extremely hard for Nicholson to get out on the perimeter to contest that mid-range by McHenry. That's just an extremely smart play by a veteran player to do that dribble up move to free McHenry for the shot.
Howard, a fifth-year player, started his career at Georgia, and then the last 3 seasons was at Georgia Tech. Ties the game for the 5th time tonight. 5 ties, 9 lead changes. Western Kentucky led by as many as 9 early in this game. Jacksonville State led by as many as 10 early in the second half. And on that Euro step, a foul was called on Western Kentucky.
Western Kentucky has to do a better job communicating that. Newman shifted his feet to force the basketball towards the baseline. You see his feet are shifted right there. And then now the big man is not there. That opened up the lane for Tandy. But I think if you're Newman in that situation, you have to wait for the command until you shift your feet.
And the foul went on McHenry, so he takes a seat with 3. We know what happened in the first half when he took a seat. They were outscored by 17 points the rest of the way. A tie-up is going to send it to Western Kentucky.
Another really good play by Newman, being there on the help side early as Tandy was coming off of that thing. Nicholson caught the ball, didn't really have anywhere to go because of Newman's presence on the help side defense.
So with McHenry out, Newman, you'd think, would be the guy on offense with 16 points. And that's going to be on Western Kentucky and Howard. And Steve Lutz is unhappy with referee Kerry Sitton for that call.
But overall, I thought that was pretty good defense by JSU, fighting through the screen.
Brigham. Tried the acrobatic lay-in. Newman, head of the pack, pulls it in and lays it in. He went into the first row of seats. Well, he's a fun player to watch. You see why he was able to play so long in the Big Ten.
He's a smart player, knows his role, doesn't force anything, understands that he's a cutter, driver, and a shooter.
Shot clock under 10, one-on-one. Howard pokes that out of bounds with 8 on the shot clock. Western Kentucky, when they've got out on the break, they've been fantastic.
How about this pass by Lander? You throw it over the top of the defense to put it right on the money where Newman can catch it in stride. Great play.
Shot clock to 3. Back iron. Offensive board. Burnley reverses. Doesn't get the roll. Howard gets tied up. And some pushing and some shoving. These teams don't have a lot of history. It's only the 4th meeting and their first since 2016.
I love the energy of this. It's a dogfight on both ends of the floor. Two teams that are trying to prove that they're the top of the Conference USA. It's going to be an exciting finish down the stretch here.
And they got Travis Roberts for that foul. Howard picked up the dribble. And that one is stolen away by Tandy. And on Lander, fouled hard at the rim. But a good foul from Lander, not to give up an easy 2. We thought we'd have a fun, tight game, and that's exactly what we have again at Diddle Arena. Western Kentucky and Jacksonville State back and forth. Things getting a little heated out there on the floor. Looking closer at the Battle of the Georges, George Mason and George Washington. Keyshawn Hall is all over the defensive glass this season, averaging over 8 defensive rebounds a game. That's 5th in the country. George Mason right now taking on Richmond. George Mason 2-1 in conference play. George Washington just got to 2-1 in conference play today with an overtime win against Davidson. So fun, full day of hoops coming up Monday. And of course, over on CBS, we'll have the game that was postponed until Monday because of the snow. The Bills and Steelers, 4:30 Eastern time on CBS and Paramount Plus. Now we've got a good one here in Conference USA. Western Kentucky with a 2-point lead on Jacksonville State. 11:40 to go in this game. Kiki Tandy, the leading scorer in conference play, at 19 a game, is at 16. And he'll have one more free throw.
It looks like he's holding his wrist a little bit. Got hit on that last play.
Yeah, it was a hard foul at the rim after a steal by Christian Lander. Allen left wide open for 3. Missed assignment on defense, and Western Kentucky's 4 of 6 from deep in the second half.
One of the few times the Gamecocks have not done a good job getting back on defense. Allen making them pay.
Oh, Tandy tried to spin that one off the glass. McHenry chases it down. Now they'll pull it out. Lander inside. Howard got pinned down and held.
We see here, it looks like Burney had to take Howard, who did a good job of sprinting the floor. That opened up the 3-pointer for Allen. Just watching Howard, he makes plays that don't show up on the stat sheet. You know, just little things as a veteran big that can help some of their guards, especially with the length and athleticism of the Gamecocks.
And Burney just Picked up his 4th foul, so he heads to the bench. Allen gets tied up, goes to the deck. Possession arrow will send it the other way to Jacksonville State. Some chirping. We'll see each other again later on this season, February 10th in Jacksonville, Alabama, which is about 4.5-hour drive south of here. It's close to Birmingham. Hour and 15 from Atlanta. Tandy, quick trigger. And now McHenry in on Tandy, gets by him. Howard kept it alive, and McHenry leaks out for 3.
That's going to be interesting here, Chris. Who can be the second option for JSU in the half court?
Now, their second leading scorer tonight is Bernie with 8, but he's on the bench with 4 fouls. And maybe it'll be that turnaround from Brigham. That's the second time we've seen it. He's up to 8. McHenry, good look, and buries it.
That is a high-degree difficulty shot. The ball screen comes, senses that the defense is playing back just a touch, gets into his pull-up in rhythm, and knocks it down. McHenry having a great second half.
Western Kentucky used a 12-1 run early on in this second half to turn a 10-point deficit into a lead. Jacksonville State coming right back. McHenry splits him, left it short, but right place, right time for Enoch Kalambe.
Good things happen when Western Kentucky pushes the ball up the floor, even off of makes. They do a good job getting the ball up the floor. That's hard to get back in transition defense, even off the make.
Brigham gets to the hoop and draws the foul. McHenry only 8 minutes in that first half and 2 points, but he's making up for lost time here in the second.
And that was all set up because Reynolds was anticipating having to get through that ball screen, kind of looked over his shoulder to see it coming. McHenry doing a good job of recognizing that and pulling up in rhythm.
2 leading scorers in Conference USA entering the night. Tandy just 2 away from his season average. McHenry 5 away from his. And a lot less time on the court. McHenry 8 points so far in the second half.
And as an opposing team, if you're JSU, you gotta, or excuse me, as Western Kentucky, you gotta feel good that Tandy has 17 points off of 16 field goal attempts. If you can keep that ratio about 1-to-1, that's a win for you.
Rodney Howard picked up that foul, his 3rd. He hits the bench. Speaking of 3, McHenry heating up from deep.
JSU is electing to go under on some of those high pick and rolls. McHenry doing a good job of recognizing that and making them pay.
Brigham with the back down. In trouble. Oh, they invaded the space. Foul on Western Kentucky. And they'll give it to Dante Allen.
Brigham has kind of had his way with that matchup with Allen. The offense has been a few possessions where he's been able to shoot over the top of him. So Faye, recognizing that, comes over to double team to try to provide some help to his teammate. I think that is what forced the foul there by Allen.
And that's the 9th foul on Western Kentucky. So this is a 1-and-1, but next foul going to be double bonus the rest of the way. Brigham. 74% free throw shooter. They're 73% as a team. Much better than Western Kentucky at 68% if this becomes a free throw game. Well, Brigham has really stepped up. 11 points now, the only other player besides Tandy in double figures for the Gamecocks. Bay getting inside. Oh, he got a good look. A foul on Jacksonville State. They get Quincy Clark for the push away from the shot.
And who is it again? It's Newman. Not just being a bystander on the perimeter. Newman recognized that Faye was 100% going to go up and take that shot. And so what he did is he crashed the glass just in case Faye missed, which he did. Then that awarded him an opportunity on the off-ball foul to get to the foul line.
Oh, missed the front end of the 1-and-1, but it goes off the knee of Jawan Purdue. And it's Western Kentucky ball, 20 on the shot clock. Newman. No, took the contact, flexing on him.
Newman just with the all-around game. Because of how great of a three-point shooter he is, you have to contest with high hands, doing a good job of ripping through and finishing through contact.
Oh, Brigham crashed in there. And he's going to be able to create an opportunity for Jacksonville State because it's a foul on Western Kentucky. But Newman leads all scorers with 20.
All Newman here in the second half, finishing through contact, going down, right hand. Great playing from Newman.
Western Kentucky was down by 8 at the half. They used a 12-1 run to take the lead, and they now lead by 7 with 7:48 to go in this one. Revisiting the Fresh Pet keys to the game. And look, perimeter shooting was great in the first half for Jacksonville State, but 0 for 6 in the second half.
Yeah, 0 for 6. I mean, they shot 5 of 8 from the first half, so Jacksonville State wants to close this gap. They're going to have to knock down some perimeter shots and also get offensive contributions from other players. And then if you're Western Kentucky, they're doing a great job of containing Kiki Tandy, but the story of the second half has been Don McHenry, who picked up those 2 quick fouls in the first half, didn't get to play much, did a good job of getting himself initiated into the game, knocking down some tray balls as the defense has gone underneath. And that's what you do when you're one of the best players in the conference. If you have a bad first half, you got to have short-term memory, and they continue to play, and he's doing a great job being aggressive here in the second half.
Picked up his second foul right around the 12:30 mark of the first half, and Western Kentucky was outscored by 15 plus with him off the floor. He's got 3 fouls now and 13 points in this game as Western Kentucky has a 7-point lead, but Marcellus Brigham is at the free throw line for 2 shots. Glad to have you with us for Conference USA basketball. Chris Hassel with Trey Demps, the former All-Big Tenner from Northwestern. More hoops coming up when we're done. UNC Greensboro and Chattanooga. And then the nightcap on the women's side to Paul and Marquette. Lead remains 6 for Western Kentucky. Trailed by as many as 10 early on in this second half.
Good job by Reynolds there, denying the wing, not allowing McHenry to get the catch.
Western Kentucky's already surpassed Jacksonville State's season average for points allowed. They're only giving up about 62 a game. Shot clock down to 2. Marshall's got to let it fly and hits.
What a play there by Marshall. Shot clock's against you. Get the ball in the short corner. Quick little step back. And Marshall made some key plays down the stretch against Sam Houston. Had 7 points in the last 3 minutes. Let's see if he can replicate that performance.
Inside Brigham. Nice offensive rebound and put back from Matt Mayers. There's Newman. Had a look. Passed it up. Abakar Faye. Gets bumped, goes up, short-armed it. And some good minutes from Mayers. Had the offensive rebound, put back on one side, and a good defensive rebound on the other, as they look to string some buckets together. Tandy inside, can't get it. Faye the rebound. Tandy 6 of 18 from the floor, and now a foul on Jawan Purdue.
I've just been impressed all day long with the defense of Lander against Kiki Tandy. He's making everything challenging, and he's using his strength, which is his quickness. He's beating Tandy to the spot, not allowing him to really get downhill in the half court, kind of making Tandy have to take lower percentage shots in the mid-range, which isn't necessarily his game.
1-1 for Faye, 59.5% at the free throw line this season. In and out. Another nice rebound from Mayers, giving him some good minutes here at a critical moment of this game. Clark with the handles in on Marshall. Oh, he showed it and then scored it. The lead is 4. Newman in the corner. Oh, man, he is going off. Season high 23 on 8 of 12 from the floor.
How about the play by Lander, recognizing the defense open up their feet towards his left hand, gets downhill and finds Newman for the open look.
Tandy looking to create something. And the drive back. Faye with the block. 5 on the shot clock. Purdue takes it in. Left hand, no. And it never drew iron. McHenry pushing all the way and gets fouled. Crashes into some of the still photographers down there. It's Quincy Clark. But man, Newman has hit some big shots tonight.
Yeah, just doing a good job of setting his feet. Lander attacks that little gap on the left wing. Tandy has to provide a little bit of help, and that's what opened up Newman for the open look in the left corner.
Season high 23 for Brandon Newman. Western Kentucky 7 of 10 from deep in this second half. Newman a big part of that. That was foul number 4 on Quincy Clark, by the way. So now Jacksonville State has 2 players with 4 fouls on the bench, Clark and Burney.
And now we're going to see Tandy is now going to bring the ball up and initiate the offense so that he can finish the play.
Wow. Slippery move from Tandy. And he's got 21 now. And a timeout called with 4:45 to go. Western Kentucky by 7 here in Conference USA.
Welcome back to Bowling Green, Kentucky, where Western Kentucky is going on a big run here in the second half. And if Jacksonville State wants to get back, they're going to need this guy right here. And I think one of the adjustments that they're going to make is they're going to have Tandy bring the ball up the floor and initiate the offense instead of him playing off the ball, so that he doesn't have to try to get open with the defensive pressure and quickness of Christian Lander. And so I'd expect the final 4:44 here, pretty much every offensive possession for Tandy to take the ball up the court.
5th time in the last 6 games that he's gone over 20 points. Came in 15th in the country in scoring at just over 19 a game. Both teams have shot it very well tonight, but Jacksonville State was 63% in the first half. They're just 36% in the second half. Fast break points have belonged to Western Kentucky. This is one of the fastest paced teams in the land. In adjusted tempo, they're number 2 in the country. And McHenry picked up those 2 fouls early, but right now nobody on that Western Kentucky side with more than 3. Burney and Clark have 4 for the Gamecocks.
I think that's been the adjustment in this second half for Western Kentucky. Even when there's a make for the Gamecocks, they are pushing the ball down the floor and getting opportunities in transition off of made baskets.
Oh, backdoor. Lander couldn't hold on to it. Might have had a layup. Still saved the possession. It's now under 10 on the shot clock, and Colombe lost it, but it went out of bounds off Jacksonville State.
That's kind of been a theme all year long for Western Kentucky is what can they do in the half court? We know how great they are in transition, but as the game slows down here, the last 4 minutes, can they get high quality looks in the half court?
Howard was fouled on the way up. And he'll get a couple of free throws. Yeah, these fans, I'm sure, are having some flashbacks to last week. Liberty was in here, and it was right around this score. Western Kentucky was up 6, 7, 8, 9 with 3 or 4 minutes to go, and it sort of fell apart. Missed some free throws, and Liberty had a chance to win that game at the buzzer, but the shot was no good. That was the 8th straight win for Western Kentucky. Had that winning streak snapped earlier in the week at Sam Houston State. But they're going for their 9th win in 10 games. And they've got a 9-point lead with 4:21 to go.
This is where Tandy has to take over the basketball game.
Goes away from the screen, gets inside, takes contact, and will get a couple of free throws.
And I like what Coach Harper is doing. He's having his big set a flat ball screen where then Tandy can now pick either side that he wants to go based on the feet of the defender that's guarding him, and doing a good job there of getting downhill to his strong right hand and drawing the foul.
And that's 4 now on Rodney Howard.
As we see it again, it's a flat ball screen. It's really challenging to guard as a defensive guard because you don't really know which way the pick and roll is coming, because you're taught as a defender to send the ball towards the pick and roll and not let the offensive player refuse it. But I think that's something that Western Kentucky could probably do before the play actually happens.
That one poked away from Fay, but able to keep possession. Here's Newman. Tough shot around a screen, and that was pretty early in the shot clock, too. But he has had the real hot hand tonight. Now 8 for 13 from the floor. Corner 3 short. Again, 0 for 7 now from deep in this second half for the Gamecocks. And now Western a chance to work some clock. You don't see them get into a half-court set like this very often. Top 5 in the nation in total possessions per game and adjusted tempo.
Not like them going to Newman a little bit as well. McHenry takes a lot of these situations on.
Baseline in and out. Jacksonville State down by 8 as we hit the 3-minute mark at Diddle Arena. Purdue left open for 3. Way off the mark. Well, Jacksonville State had a 10-point lead earlier this half. That seems like a long time ago. Down by 8, 2:56 to play. On CBS Sports Network. And the Mocs coming off their largest victory in program history against a D1 team. They won by 48 against VMI. And now we'll take on UNC Greensboro team up next. If we're still going here, you can find that one over on the stream, or we'll let you know how to access that in mere moments. 2:56 to go. And Western Kentucky with an 8-point lead. Matchup between the highest scoring team in the conference and the best defensive team in the conference, and the offense has won out for Western Kentucky. Jacksonville State only giving up 62 a game. Hilltoppers might go over 80 tonight.
If you're Western Kentucky, as long as you can get a high quality shot at the end of the shot clock, that's a win for you.
And with the shot clock at 5, McHenry missed it. Offensive rebound, put back, and Newman gets clubbed on the way up.
That was not a good look from McHenry. You got to understand your advantage in that situation. I understand that there's been heavy help side, that it's been hard to get into the paint. But Newman doing a great job of bailing them out, crashing the glass, which can be a little bit of a risk, especially when you're up late in the game, because it definitely compromises your transition defense. But was fortunate enough to get that rebound and cause a foul.
Newman now has 24 points, continuing to improve on his season high, his Hilltopper high in his first season after coming over from Purdue. Western Kentucky now leads by 10. This is their largest lead of the game. It's been a game of runs. Western took an 8-0 lead off the tip. Jacksonville State had a 10-point lead early on second half. Western Kentucky caught fire. McHenry hit a couple of shots after sitting for much of the first half with 2 fouls, and Brandon Newman has gone off. 25 points, 4 of 7 from deep. And after seeing their 8-game winning streak snapped earlier in the week, it's looking like Western Kentucky might be able to snap Jacksonville State's 6-game winning streak. McHenry, floater, high off the square.
That is a tough finish. He looks off the corner with a little bit of ball fake, creates just enough space to get the tough finish with the left hand.
And Clark missed that. Lander, a little 2-on-2, and they'll work some clock and call timeout. Now, Western Kentucky looking to put the finishing touches on this puppy, up by 12 in the final 90 seconds. Steve Lutz, in his first season as head coach of the Hilltoppers, is doing a great job protecting the Hill. Looking like they're going to get to 8-0 at home. Haven't had a perfect season here since the 08-09 campaign. Always tough to beat in front of these great fans in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Up by 12 with the ball. Still plenty of time on the shot clock. Here's Newman. Oh, got it poked away from behind, but able to keep it. Shot clock down to 5. McHenry's got to create. He'll take the 3. Way short. Marshall saved it. Shot clock expired, but the Gamecocks already had it. They need to score and score in bunches. Taking a lot of time. Clark short. They're able to get it back. First open look of this second half for Tandy from deep.
That's just been the story of the second half. Is just other guys on the offensive end really unable to contribute and to come alongside Tandy Thought at one point it might be Brigham, who had a couple of nice pull-ups, but just a little bit unfortunate for the offensive end for the Gamecocks, just because of how well they shot the ball in the first half.
As soon as we're done here, we'll take you out to Chattanooga. UNC Greensboro taking on the Mocs. That game can be streamed live right now on the CBS Sports app. McHenry only 2 points in the first half because he only played 8 minutes. Picked up a couple of fouls, but he's up to 18 now. Made some big plays in that 12-1 run that happened in a blink. Jacksonville State had a 10-point lead early on in the second half, and then Western Kentucky went on a 12-1 run in less than 2 minutes. And there's only a 1.5 second difference, shot clock and game clock. Western Kentucky's looking to start another winning streak after having their 8-game winning streak snapped earlier in the week. They'll win for the 9th time in 10 games, and they'll get to 8-0 at home. Final thoughts, Trey?
Just a great performance by the backcourt. I mean, Newman all game, McHenry in the second half. That's what you need in conference play. It's all about guard play when it comes to conference.
These two teams will move to 2-1 in conference play. Everyone looking up at Sam Houston State in action right now against Middle Tennessee. Coming up next, UNC Greensboro and Chattanooga. For Trey Demps and our entire crew, I'm Chris Hassel. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home